Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome back to once again another video. Today's video is going to be a little different. Season 4 just recently dropped, so I'm going to be talking about some of the new changes within Season 4 and Warzone, as well as covering how to win in duos. We'll cover duos first, and then we'll cover all the new stuff within Warzone, just after I tell you guys my tips and tricks for winning duos. The gameplay in the background is going to be a duo win within Season 4. It was the first win of the season so far, and it wasn't too crazy. And then another win where me and my friend went AFK for like half the game in a tower because we went and got food, and we ended up winning that game as well. I'm going to do my best to articulate how I win games to you guys within duos. I play extremely different from how trios works and from how solos works, but oddly similarly to both of them. And it makes sense, right? Like, duos is the midway point between solos and trios, so it kind of plays like a mixture of each. In trios, usually if it's full squads, you have to worry about 3 people going up against you. In duos, you only have to worry about the main person you're fighting and then one more if you don't get a team wipe off of that. And of course in solos, you're only worrying about one guy at all times. So far within Warzone, since it's been released, my favorite game mode is still trios if you have a full trio of friends and you all know what you're doing and you're all on the same page. However, if you're just playing with one extra friend, obviously duos is going to be the best place to do that. Yeah, it's probably my second favorite game mode in the game right now. I'd go trios, duos, and then solos. Starting from the beginning of the game, what I like to do in duos is drop downtown and complete a couple of flag captures that will give circle peaks. This will just give me a little bit of future intel on where the circle will be within the next 2 rotations. If there is lots of flags downtown, I will do as many as possible with my teammate, and we'll get circle peaks all the way to the final circle, and we'll set it from there on out. However, usually there's not a lot of flags downtown, so if we get 2 or 3 flags completed, we will then get our loadout drop, loot up, and start pushing bounties. Bounties are good because not only do they show you where enemy players are, but they also give you lots of cash. So for some reason, if you're the last person alive on your team and your friend's spectating, you start a bounty, you're only going to have to fight 2 people. So that's going to be the person you have the bounty on and his teammate, unless that bounty is a solo. But either way, you're taking 2 people max into a gunfight. And if you play smartly and rotate properly, you will easily be able to win that gunfight. Duos is a lot more chaotic than trios and solos, I find. I think personally it's the amount of teams around the map. You have 77 full duos at the beginning of a game if the game is full, so you have to worry about a lot of people dropping with you depending on where you're dropping. For me, since I drop downtown, there's always lots of action and always tons of crazy things going on, which is to be expected, but just keep in mind that since there are more teams, you will come across more parties in game, so you will get in a lot more conflict. Of course, you can avoid that conflict by playing it super safe and avoiding all the busy areas, which is highly risky because not only do you get less loot, but there's just less things going on, and it's also just a little bit more boring that way. But getting back on topic now, once I finish off doing my first few flag captures, getting some circle peaks, we'll start some bounties and we'll start getting set up for late game. This means getting as much money as possible to get armor satchels, gas masks, ammo crates, armor crates, kill streaks, ammo, you name it. We're set up for end game. And then once we're set up for end game, what I like to do with my teammate is try to get as many kills as possible while maintaining the high ground. In my past Warzone guides, I've talked lots about rotating and maintaining high ground. In duos, since there is only 2 people you have to worry about in gunfights, of course, unless you get 3rd partied or 4th partied. But if you are only facing one duo in a gunfight, you can flank really easily. So if you and your teammate have a clear strategy for gunfights where they stick in the middle and distract the 2 players on the enemy squad, and then you flank, you can get some kills extremely easily that way. There's tons of times within duos where I have been solo and my teammate has been in the gulag or is waiting for me to buy them back. There has been plenty of times when 2 people have pushed me at the same time and I kill both of them before they can do anything about it. It's just the nature of duos. If you put yourself in a bad position on low ground or do a poorly planned rotation, putting yourself in a very exposed area, you can die extremely easily. While rotating in duos, I like to stay at the halfway radius point of the current zone. So if you guys don't know geometry or calculus or stuff like that, the radius is from the center of the circle to the edge. The diameter is from edge to edge. Think halfway to the center of the circle, and the toxic gas. That's kind of where I like to hang out, unless I have a bunch of circle peaks and know where the circle is going to end up. If I don't have that intel on future circles, I like to stay at the halfway radius point within duos, because there's going to be a lot of duos that push from the outer circle as well as the center of the circle. So you're going to have lots of opportunities to put yourself at high ground while those teams rotate in. Also, if you stay at the halfway point within the circle, depending on if you have intel or not, the next circle that you are given to go to can be a lot easier to get to, and it's also a lot faster to rotate. Of course, if you have vehicles or helicopters, rotating isn't going to be an issue. This is just basically if you're on foot. And then late game, of course, I just play late game how everyone else plays it. I get high ground. I use all my kill streaks and all my equipment and specialists and give myself the best advantage I can to win the game. Now let's talk about some of the new things that we've got in Warzone. I'm not going to focus on any of like the Easter egg stuff with the dam or the bunkers or anything like that, because honestly, I don't know that much about it. But there are a bunch of new things in Warzone now that you can take into account, not only for duos, but for solos and trios as well. There is a brand new sniper that you can unlock by finishing, I don't know what it's called exactly, but after completing an objective or while looting, you can find a blue objective, and you open a crate or finish a search or something along the lines of that, and a blue crate will appear. You pick it up and it will give you an objective. Basically, all you have to do for this objective is pretend it's plunder. You go to the area that it tells you to, you call in the helicopter pickup, and you deliver the package. And if you haven't delivered it before, you get a new AX-50 sniper variant, as well as a bunch of cash. So that is one way you can get a bunch of cash in game. And of course, the weapon variant actually looks insanely good. I'll probably have it in the thumbnail of the video. Also, another new thing is fire sales. And if you guys have played zombies before, fire sales are exactly what they sound like. Everything except for loadout drops in the buy stations are super cheap. To buy back teammates and to buy self revives during these fire sales are completely free. So if you're playing quads and you are the last player alive, you can buy your whole team back during a fire sale. Now, I don't know if these fire sales occur randomly in matches or if there's something that triggers them, but fire sales are super overpowered. If you have like $2,000, you can be completely set up, buy all your teammates back, have all your equipment and loadouts and stuff like that. Well, minus loadout drops, but you can get basically everything except the loadout drop if you have $2,000, because everything's extremely cheap. Usually what I do with fire sales, if I have over 3K, I will buy the 3 UAVs and start the advanced UAV right away, just to give myself a really good advantage and to see where other people are around the map. Of course, enemy teams are going to use this to their advantage as well, just because everything is so cheap. But that is another crazy thing they've added within Warzone. So I think everyone on the map or that's still alive in the game when a fire sale is activated has access to it, as long as there's a buy station nearby. One thing I do want to mention, since it is a new season, I find that a lot of the tryhard players are back in Warzone matchmaking, which kind of happens with most games as well. So a new season comes out, everyone comes back to play, everyone's trying hard and sweating, and then mid-season to late season, all the really grindy players stick around, but then all the casual players that sweat their asses off when they play kind of stop playing and they move to other games. So when you're playing Warzone, expect it to be extremely busy and high-paced, and there's not a lot of people that I've come across that have been bad players. Most players I've come across have been using the M4 or the Grau or an MP5, so a lot of tryhards right now, just letting you guys know, but that's to be expected with the new season. As well as we also got a bunch new DLC stuff, new season's pass, of course. We got the Vector, we got a Galil, we got a new melee weapon, which is literally a stick. That you have to unlock via challenge. I'm going to have lots of videos coming out over the next few days here. I'm going to be covering the gold gun guides for the Vector and the Galil. I'm also going to be doing the melee Charlie weapon, which is the new stick, as well as Scrapyard's video. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a like if you did, dislike if you didn't. I'm about to head out, and if there is one, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.